I don't have a comment on that. Go ahead, Said.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to follow up on Sean's question on the sanctions that the president.
That against settlers and so on. There are many settlers, thousands of settlers, who hold U.S. passports. They are U.S. citizens. In this case, you cannot, of course, deny them a visa, but will you prosecute them if it's proven that they have participated in criminal acts?
Said, I would want to preview any action before it's taken, and certainly.
Right.
The State Department does not prosecute anyone, and I wouldn't want to comment on. But as you know, we have strict rules inside the United States government. Those decisions are made by the Justice Department. We don't comment on them or participate in them at any other agency.
Okay, so what kind of other sanctions you might?
Again, Said, I don't want to preview any steps that we might take. I will reiterate that our first priority is for the government of Israel to take action against those extremists who are committing violence against Palestinians. But we have options at our disposal as well that we will use if appropriate.
Okay, a couple of questions on Gaza. But before I ask on Gaza today, I don't think you probably know about this, but there is a poet named Musab Abu Taha, young poet. His son is U.S. citizen, born in this country. Abu Taha was a scholar at Harvard. Today he was leaving after speaking with the embassy, apparently, and he was trying to leave, and he was basically taken away and his toddler given to his mom and so on. Is there anything that his family should be doing with the United States, since more than likely he was probably on his way to the United States?
I don't have the details of that case, so it's let me establish the ground rule again.
Okay.
I will not interrupt your questions. Don't interrupt my answer, please. I don't have the details of that case, and so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment on them without having the full range of it, full details.
Okay, I'll send you the details now. Look, I mean, we have the figures are really gruesome. I mean, I don't know. Is this administration, and I say this with them, has it become numb to the number of Palestinians killed every day? I mean, are you okay with like 13,000 that have been killed thus far? Where are we going to stop?
Said,
where are we going to stop?
You have heard the president speak to this. You have heard the secretary speak to this. You've heard the secretary say that far too many Palestinians have been killed as a result of this conflict. Every innocent life that's lost is a tragedy, and we mourn the loss of every innocent life. These are civilians whose deaths have come through no fault of their own, that are in the conflict that is not of their own making. And I can tell you, speaking for myself, speaking for everyone in this administration, that we feel those deaths every bit as we feel the loss of Israeli civilian lives. And so that is why when we set out to develop our policies and have conversations with the government of Israel and with others in the region, we have a number of principles that we have made very clear. Number one, as Israel conducts a legitimate operation to prevent the terrorists that attacked it on October 7th from being able to do so again, it does so in accordance with humanitarian law, and it tries to the greatest extent possible to minimize civilian harm. Number two, we want to see civilians protected. We want to see civilian infrastructure protected. And number three, we want to get humanitarian assistance to those in need. That is what we can do at the policy level from the United States government. It's what we continue to do to try to minimize civilian suffering, to try to help those civilians who are in Gaza. But at the same time, we see every one of those deaths and we mourn each and every one of them.
The president said that, he envisions a Palestinian state that will include Gaza and the West Bank and so on. So let me ask you this. Or is it safe to assume that the administration has some sort of a vision how this very battle should end?
I don't want to get to how this conflict will end, because ultimately it's very hard to prescribe from a podium, it's hard to prescribe from a podium thousands of miles away how a military operation, which is of course unpredictable by its nature, we've seen that multiple times throughout history, how it will end and what will be left in the aftermath. So where we are right now is laying out principles. And you've heard the Secretary articulate some of those principles with respect to Gaza, that there should be no diminution in the territory of Gaza, that no Palestinians should be displaced from Gaza, a number of other principles, and also heard him and the President articulate that ultimately the end of this, We want to see the establishment of a Palestinian state that unites the West Bank and unites Gaza, so the Palestinian people can determine their own future. And that is the policy that we support. It's the policy that we will try to achieve.
And last